In the next edition of It's About Money, my guest will be Glen Kellogg, who is the president of Hart's Grocers. It is a downtown grocery store in Rochester, New York. Be sure to join us for the next edition of It's About Money. Hello and welcome to another edition of It's About Money. This is Nanette Nokan, and thank you for joining us. My guest is Glen Kellogg. He is the president of Hart's Grocers, and we're very excited about the grocery store downtown.
Oh, thank you, Nanette.
I'm happy that you're here. So the residents of downtown, I being one of them, is so excited about having a local grocery store where we could just walk and get our groceries, and we don't have to go once a week. We could go every day or a couple times a day. So anyway, tell me about the history of Hart's. What year did it open? What it's about?
Sure. Hart's is a historic Rochester brand. It was opened in the 1800s by Moses Hart, who I believe was an immigrant from Hungary and had a small grocery store downtown. When his son inherited the business, his son Alfred, there were two sons, Alfred and Leo. When Alfred inherited the business, he started expanding in the teens and 20s. So that by the 1930s, there was a small empire of Hart's grocery stores. They were all over Rochester. Really, you couldn't go 6 blocks without finding another Hart's. They were your local grocers. And it was a very different way of thinking about grocery stores then, that everyone walked to the grocery store. There was a store close to you and convenient, and it was very much part of your neighborhood. So by the 1930s, they were everywhere. When Alfred died, one of his managers assumed the business and slowly began to transform it into Star Market, which many of you might also remember. So after that, Star Market was sold to a national company, and the brand faded away until this last year, where we're reinventing it and bringing it back to serve Rochesterians once again.
That's great. That's wonderful. I didn't realize that that's what had happened. They converted
and Alfred Hart was a tremendous philanthropist in the community. His family is very proud that we're continuing his legacy.
Nice. I bet, because that's a family name, yes. Right? That's great. That's wonderful. Now, when you were searching for names, was that a natural to select Hart's?
Well, really, one of the reasons we went with Hart's as opposed to some of the other alternatives was the story of Alfred. That he was such a pillar of the community, and the stores were in every neighborhood. That it was a good story, and it was the kind of store that we wanted to be again.
Mm-hmm. That's right. So it's nice to resurrect the name and
exactly.
And have a nice name in the community.
Yes.
With that. So now, when you were getting started, you must have had many challenges. Starting a grocery store isn't exactly something you can get in your back pocket. What kind of challenges did you have, and how did you even think about how to start the whole thing?
Well, the process was going from one crisis to a next. But that's how these things work. The first challenge we faced was finding talented staff of people who knew how to run a grocery store. Then we also faced a challenge of finding the right location. Finding the right location in downtown was difficult to balance our market requirements, our access requirements, and we needed at least 15,000 square feet to be able to operate and really compete in the market. So there weren't a lot of options available, and we tried a couple of locations and finally found the location that we're in on Winthrop Street, in between the Little Theater and Two Vine, the old Craig Autometrics building. It was a very clean auto center, and it didn't take much work to transform a great big open hangar space into a great big open grocery store.
That's neat. So what about parking, though? Like you mentioned, it's one of the challenges. How much parking is there? Because that's when someone's not used to going downtown. Parking. Ooh, how do we park, and where do we park?
Yes. Our market study suggested that we'd need approximately 80 spaces for our store. The space that we control just north of our building between Hart's and Two Vine has approximately 120, 130 spaces. So we've got adequate parking there. The trick is managing uses in the neighborhood. That we also use the parking spaces for Two Vine and for the Little Theater. So there are a couple of hours during the week where parking is tight, but we have an overfill lot at the end of the street on Charlotte Street, and there's also street parking, and the Little also has their own lot. So we manage, and we try to make the most out of those spaces by sharing them at different times of day with different uses.
Sure, I imagine, the at dinner time, people are having dinner, but they're not shopping as much.
Right.
But anyway, it's great. And then, of course, the people from the neighborhood can just walk over and don't need a spot.
And especially at lunch, we have lots of people walking in from downtown to enjoy our prepared food section and our sandwich counter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. So that's a big part of your business, isn't it?
It is.
Prepared foods.
Prepared foods has, I think, really defined us as we've started the business. It's I am tremendously proud of everything coming out of that kitchen. We have a chef who works for us, and in fact, he's part owner of the company. We gave him the mission to create a menu of nostalgic American food brought into the modern era. So there are things like an amazing roast chicken, meatloaf that is out of this world. His chili won the Rochester chili competition, and it was a tough thing to have to admit when I tasted it. I was a little bit sad that his chili is better than mine.
Oh, well, that's great.
It's amazing. So you asked how much business we do through that. A good portion of our business is through the prepared foods section. We have between 20 and 25% of our sales out of the kitchen, and it's created a wonderful reputation for us, and I think complements nicely being able to round out the rest of your shopping. You can come in and get a prepared dinner, and then pick up the rest of your groceries for the next day, and be done.
Sure, and I know some people go there and have a quick bite and then do the grocery shopping.
Exactly.
So, yeah, that's really great. I think it's wonderful. And yes, you've got a great reputation, because I've heard people say that lunch is excellent, and they look forward to trying out something else the next day. So
the breakfast sandwiches are to die for.
So my questions has been like the way I would go in the grocery store in different directions. But I want to go back to the question about the challenges. So the funding of doing a grocery store is tremendous. How did you make it happen?
Well, an average small business only takes about $80,000 to $100,000 to get started. We're starting a grocery store that is on a scale somewhat beyond that. So we had major challenges in reaching both the equity and debt portions of our project. Canandaigua National Bank was a wonderful partner in stepping up and having faith in the project and committing to the debt side. On the equity side, our company, Rochester Local Capital, which I'm the manager of, contributed 50% of the required equity. But the other 50% came from local investors that we were hoping that crowdfunding would have been in place and ready to go, but the legal status of that in 2012, when we started the project and started fundraising, was somewhat murky. So for this project, we had to avoid it and go with traditional methods of effectively family and friends and social networking to raise money from local investors in the community who are committed to Rochester and believe in this project, and brought them into the company.
I see. So really, so there's a bank side, and then there's a friends, family, and investors that came in to help.
Exactly.
So, and then when you run a grocery store, you've got to have your working capital has to be ebbs and flows, right?
The working capital is the hardest part. That's the part that banks and nobody wants to fund.
But it's been able.
Yes. So we have been able to through our founders and through Rochester Local Capital and through loans, have been able to piece it together and make it work.
That's great. That's great. Now, are there times now? When did the grocery store open its doors?
Oh, we opened on August 15th,
2014.
2014.
Okay, so
last year. We've been open for about 6 months.
Okay, that's great. So you talk about building customers. How do you build customers?
That is the trick, through marketing. And there's obviously, as you know, and your watchers are, I'm sure, very aware, there's a process of moving people through becoming aware of the brand, deciding that it might be a brand for them, getting them in the store. And then once they're in the store, we do a really great job of convincing them that it's a great place, that there are plenty of things that that they love and becoming advocates. That we've got a great in-store experience. The hardest part for us really is the awareness that takes a lot of money. Just like the working capital, part of that working capital needs to go to advertising and getting the word out. So thank you very much for having me on your show.
No, it's my pleasure. Well, I know that people who go by there, but when word of mouth, you ask people, have you heard of Hart's? No, what is that about? So, but there are people who may not live in the neighborhood, but so it's word of mouth. But
we've had a very strong social media campaign on Facebook and Twitter and our blog that we have over 6,000 followers now, which I feel like is a good start.
I have an idea for you. I think on a Valentine's Day, you should have a Hearts Day, so people can, they used to have this dating thing.
That's
they
a
date
fun
at the
idea.
grocery
Well,
because it's Hearts, but a different spelling.
Before, right around Valentine's Day, we are doing another vendors market. It's one of the things that has been really successful for us, where part of the concept of our store is that we have a lot of local products, as well as national things, but we have a lot of local products. And on Valentine's Day, where we have a market for local vendors to come in and connect with customers. And we've done this in the winter, just before the holidays. We had a couple of markets where we filled up the store with local vendors, and customers came in and got to interact and taste products and meet the people who are producing these great foods. And everyone had a great time, and it was a great day for sales. So we will be doing that frequently. That I think there's a lot to the relationship between the people shopping with us and the people producing food, and it's great to be able to help make that connection.
That's great. So you talk about some of the local vendors, so you sell a lot of local items.
We do sell a lot of local. As about a year ago, as I was explaining to everyone the concept of Hart's Local Grocers, I was saying we're going to focus on local things, but we're also going to have things that you expect in a grocery store. We're a full-service store. Obviously, we talked about the kitchen. We've got a fantastic meat department, amazing dairy. We try to have as much local produce as we can, but of course, in the middle of winter, that's hard, and people still need to eat their greens.
Yes.
So, and then we've got a full center store. But as I was originally pitching this, I said we'd have Coke and Doritos as well. Well, today I brought a couple of things that I'd like to share with you. Aside from Coke and Doritos, we also have things like locally made Saratoga chips. And why do you need to buy Coke when we offer local products? Fizz soda from, they're in Rochester, Club Soda, or College Club sodas. They're locally produced and delicious. Also, Paul Guglielmo is making a sauce. He's a well-known local personality, I think, and we were the first store to carry his sauce, and we're proud to have that on our shelves. We're hosting his launch party for new recipes. He's now in over 30 stores in the area, including some national chains, and so we're really proud that we've been able to help launch that business and help it take off. Also, Pittsford Farms Dairy is another local brand that we're proud to have on our shelves. These chocolate milk pints disappeared on our opening day. They're amazing. But we obviously have a whole line of dairy through them as well.
That's great. That's wonderful. So really the collaboration and working with the local providers, right?
Exactly.
Products.
So Paul comes in and tastes his sauce at our markets, and you get to meet him, taste sauce, we've had College Club in tasting their sodas. It's a lot of fun.
Nice. And also your meats are also locally.
They are. Our meats are, our entire meat department is local. That we've got a number of farms that we work with, Seven Bridges, Youngman, to name a few. And although our meats aren't certified organic, they're naturally raised, and you can taste the difference. Come try our meats. You will be really impressed with just the difference in how it hasn't had to have been frozen and transported over long distances. It's locally grown, it's fresh, and it's pretty amazing.
And being certified organic adds a layer of expense anyway.
It
right?
does.
So.
It's expensive and difficult to get the organic certified producer, and with that, unfortunately, organic doesn't necessarily mean what you think it does anymore. It's an important step and is raising the bar, which is a wonderful thing. That we really believe in naturally raised products, but obviously we sell a lot of things that are unhealthy for you as well, and we can let the consumer decide.
Yes, that's right. Thank you. This has been fun. We're going to take a quick break. My guest is Glen Kellogg, who is the president of Hart's Grocers. We'll be right back. I'm Nanette Nocon. And we're back. I'm Nanette Nocon. My guest is Glen Kellogg. He's the president of Hart's Grocers, grocery store in downtown Rochester. And we've got a cadre of locally produced items here, which I think is wonderful. And it's wonderful to have the affiliation with local producers, making, helping the economy grow in our community.
I think that's part of our mission. Our mission statement is to build community, delight the senses, and connect Rochesterians to the region's greatest food. And I think we're doing a really good job on all of those.
Very nice. That's great. So besides selling prepared foods and also groceries, what other ways are you expanding? I had read about home delivery. So
Yes. So we've just announced that you can have in-store pickup, and starting at the beginning of February, we're doing local delivery. So in the neighborhoods immediately adjacent to downtown, or in the zip codes adjacent to downtown, you'll be able to go online, order your groceries, and have them delivered in a window in the evening.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's great. So it's like a drive-through. You go in.
Oh, well, so there's
a
a
window
drive.
of time, you mean?
I meant a window of time.
Okay, I
so
see.
you can, there's a window of time in the afternoon that you can pick up your groceries, and then there's a window of time in the evening that if you'd like them delivered, we'll deliver them between those hours.
I see. Very nice. So it really makes it convenient.
Yes,
So,
and it also should help. We're hoping that this helps reach a market that can't that our store isn't convenient to, particularly college kids who might be in dorms and it might not be very convenient to get to our store, and the elderly, who hopefully this will support aging in place, that you might not be able to carry your groceries back and forth. We'll bring them to you.
That's great. That's one. You're absolutely right. Aging in place, those that have some disability that
Yes.
might not be able to get in and out. So that's fantastic. So one gets into the website and orders the food.
Yes, you can go. You can find it a link through our website at hartslocalgrocers.com.
I see. Great. And then zip codes. What zip code? So you are in the 14604 zip code. Is that right?
We're in 07.
07.
But we
okay.
deliver to 04.
Oh,
I don't have my list
Okay,
with me
10
right now.
probably
But
around
it's
there, yeah.
it's just north, west, south, and east.
okay. Great, great. That's great. And what about the project of filling the inner loop? What do you think about that in relationship?
I'm really excited about the Inner Loop project. I think it was a great decision by the city to move ahead with that. I think that it's going to really connect our location in the East End with the Park Avenue neighborhood, which is one of the neighborhoods that I am very pleased to be serving. And I think it'll feel different with that barrier gone, that it'll feel more like a continuous neighborhood. And downtown and the neighborhoods will be a little bit more joined together then.
I see. That's really great. And so if you said that there's some local investors. So if they're interested in knowing more about being a part of funding, investing in Hart's Grocers, that they could reach you through the website.
You can reach me through the website.
Yeah. Okay. Great. You just never know. Sometimes there are people who are interested. I mean, of course, this is not an
thank you.
endorsement
No.
of the investment, but I just wanted to,
Yes.
mention that it's not out of reach. That people can still do that. And what about waste? I think of grocery stores as, because your fresh produce, there's a waste because you never can predict I mean, maybe there's numbers available, but you can never predict how many people will be buying bananas, or maybe that's a bad example. 'cause
Bananas are a great
but-
seller.
Yes, I was going to say, it usually is, yes. But I mean, it's certain food items, or mangoes, for example, you know.
Oh, sure.
Or,
Well, managing shrink is one of the things that having a kitchen helps with. That obviously we can pick up some things that that won't be good in a couple of days and prepare them and sell them as delicious meals. But more importantly, it says that we're sort of co-buying, and the kitchen is buying together with grocery, which makes for efficiencies, and they can plan together and yes, share resources and pick up where things are slow or not moving. But also one of the things that we're able to do with that buying power is, again, work with some of our local vendors. That we also have some vendors like Just Juice that sell, it's a local company. They have a brick and mortar location that they make juice in, and they sell fresh juice. We have them in our store, and because they're a very small company, they're able to work with us on ordering. So since we're doing larger orders, we can wholesale products to them at a cheaper price than they can buy them otherwise, and then our prices are better on their products that we're selling.
I see, very
So
nice.
so it's building a nice ecosystem of efficiencies, like you're saying.
Yeah, that's terrific. And now you have 15,000 square feet, right? Of
Oh, we're more. We've
Oh.
got 20,000 square feet. The floor space is about 15,000 square feet, and then we've got offices and back room.
Fantastic. So I know you also have club memberships. I was surprised that as a member of a non-for-profit like the George Eastman House, that there's some club discounts.
Some of those discounts were one-time opportunities that have ended, but we have
okay.
some other club discounts that are continuing. We just started one for Rochester young professionals.
I see.
To get the young professionals specifically to try using our delivery and online service.
Okay.
That they're, we think, a natural demographic for busy young professionals. Don't have to spend time going through the store. They can order online and either pick up their groceries or have it delivered. That in a tech-savvy world, they're ready for that.
That's great. So you're kind of doing a revolving, rotating type of discount. That's
Yes.
great. Okay.
Yes.
That's wonderful. I just didn't know one time I was there. My husband does most of the grocery shopping. I was like, oh, look at that. There's a discount there. It shows up as you sign your receipt, you know? So
Yes. Well,
it's
and the other thing on the receipt that you'll find is we have a rewards program that if you sign up with us and use your card as you're checking out, you build up points. And then you're able to redeem those points for, right now, we have merchandise of Hart's T-shirts and coffee mugs and promotional things like that you can buy. But going forward in the future, you can also redeem them for gift cards. Going forward into the future, we're hoping to have food experience rewards of wine tours and things like that you can redeem your points for.
Oh, that's great. So that's the old method of building your green stamps.
Yes,
right? S&H
exactly.
Green stamps.
Which that's another thing that Hart's was originally famous for, was their stamps and coupon books. That somebody in the neighborhood recently gave me a whole stack of old Hart's stamps from. They look like they have to be from the teens, and it's. We'll be displaying them, I think. But yes, it's exactly that model.
Yeah, that's close. But thank goodness technology can.
The premier thing that you could redeem your stamps for was the Hart's wagon, which is, of course, our logo.
Yeah, yes. It's nice that you could borrow. And the family didn't have any quarrel with using.
No,
yeah,
no.
that's great.
They've been very supportive, and I'm so glad that they've been able to be part of the story.
Yeah, that's great. I saw the news clip of interviewing, I guess, the first or the last store manager.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there was a gentleman, Herb, who had been a manager, and he just Last year, I believe he turned 100, and then sadly he passed away this last year.
Sorry to hear, but that was nice that he
But
saw
it was
that
wonderful to
name.
meet him and get him in the store as we were opening, and it was a great experience. He had wonderful stories to tell.
Yeah, that's great. Now, how the Eastman School of Music is right nearby.
They are.
Do you attract a lot of the students?
We do have a lot of students coming in from Eastman to shop with us.
Because I imagine many of them don't have vehicles. Many are from
Yes.
different countries, and probably would be difficult or
And
expensive. To have a
to my
vehicle.
understanding, Eastman doesn't have a dining hall, so we're well positioned to serve them meals and offer them groceries.
No, that's great. It's nice to fill the market. Truly, as a resident of downtown, I think it's very nice to have a convenience, sort of the dream. Everybody says, oh, I would like to live downtown, but what's missing is the grocery store.
Yes, well, you
So-
don't have that excuse anymore.
All right, that's right. And we're going to be downtown for nearly close to 9 years now, and we've been waiting for a grocery store. So it's really nice to have that convenience, So, and I was surprised at how expensive the hours were, because some of the holidays you're open. You're like, really, you're open on
We were
New Year's
open on New
Day?
Year's Day.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Next year we're going to advertise that more heavily.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful. It's great to be able to go there. And many of my friends have actually made it so that it's a tradition to have breakfast at Hart's. I thought, oh, great. So I've got to try that out.
We have a number of people who come in for breakfast, particularly on the weekends. Weekends are a very popular day for people to come in, get brunch or a breakfast sandwich, and then do their weekly shopping.
Well, I have to say, I admire you for taking the risk of doing this, because not
thank
a lot
you.
of organizations would want to do that. It certainly is a risk because you don't know how successful it'll be. We have some really good groceries in town, so it's nice that you took that risk and invested in the community.
Oh, thank you. Well, that again is part of our mission, was the build community part. A lot of what we're trying to do with this is make downtown a livable, great place to be. And with that, we're trying to make it a walkable community. So we saw that there was a hole in the market and a need for a downtown grocer. And downtown grocery works very differently than grocery in the suburbs. That in the suburbs, you have a very wide trade area and everyone is driving. When you move into downtown markets, the size of your store necessarily changes, and the size of your market changes as well. So there's a sweet spot somewhere in between the 12 and 30,000 square foot range that you can provide enough services to be a full service store and have enough on the shelves that people find what they're looking for, but that you're small enough to fit into a city block and be part of a downtown neighborhood.
Yeah, very nice. So you've obviously done a lot of your homework. That's very good.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I thank you for taking the time to talk to us about Hart's grocery store, and it's very nice to again have it for the community and the services, and wish you the very best.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for joining us, our guest. My guest was Glen Kellogg, who is the president of Hart's Grocers, and I'm Nanette Noklan. It's about money. Until next time.